Hooey! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you're okay. I am wearing a beanie and a jacket because it's changing of seasons down here in the southern hemisphere. For everyone above the equator, I'm envious. You guys got summer on its way, obviously in spring at the moment. So enjoy that. It's my turn to get wrapped up in scarves as well as you guys are in your bathing suits. All right, so let's talk about the markets and what we're going to do with them. There's quite a few topics I want to chat about today. I'm going to try condense it all into one session. If I don't get around to them all, then we'll have to pick the rest up tomorrow. The one thing I want to chat about is how a chart should look from a scale perspective. Working with geometrical tools, namely the Gantt square fixed, you want things to line up correctly. Now, where that becomes problematic is if you've got not everyone in the world has got the same computer screen, the ratios, dynamics, shapes, sizes, all that kind of stuff. It changes quite radically. With the sidebars here, you're able to adjust the scaling so that it makes sense to your screen. All right. So unfortunately, it's just the way it is. There is no one size fits all. I've tried to find solutions, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you using your vision of what looks right and customize that to what your screen setup is. So with regards to the chart, how you can use it to aid you in that experience is just merely by how the candles themselves look. If you've got something too exaggerated in terms of the length, then your geometrical tools aren't going to make sense, right? Or if you go the other direction and you've got this stumpy looking candle, that's not going to work either. The right look is somewhere in the middle, something along that. And why that matters again is because if you're using geometrical shapes or geometrical tools to shape the market's next move, then it's going to have different results if you're working with that as to it being like that as to it working like that. And this is how you want to have it, right? You want to have it somewhere in the middle looking nice and neat. Same thing goes with the time. You don't want the candles too broad and you don't want them too thin either. It's striking a balance to have it somewhere in the middle. Now, how you can achieve that, and this is something that I'm very proud of, is that my discovery in using the Gantt square fixed is able to give you an indication of what looks right and what doesn't. Okay. So by putting this down now and knowing that support and resistance is diagonal, it's not linear, then you will have a indication from the Gantt tool itself as to where the interaction should be. Okay, so if this is on your mobile and you can't really see what's going on because it's a small screen, then what I'm showing you is that the price progression, the move up, is along the the support fans within the Gantt tool. And then also the slowdown points, like the roadblocks or however you want to term, whatever analogy or term you want to use for that, is where the resistance will happen as well. So you can actually use a Gantt tool fixed to scale your chart correctly. And you can do so by watching the behavior of price action within each subsection to give you that confirmation. So as it is right now, I don't like the way it looks. So I'm going to just scroll or nudge the price at the bottom, this time bar back and forth, so that it starts to create a better story. If there's nothing there, then I'll just elongate this a bit more so it becomes more pronounced. And you can see that there's going to be more interaction by my doing that within the price actions move inside the Gantt square. Okay. And this is what helps us determine what a correctly scaled chart looks like. I've said this many times and I really mean it. Gantt tools mean shit without getting this one thing correct, and for the reasons already mentioned. So let's investigate to see whether or not we had the correct configuration there. How I'm going to do so is just apply the length of the previous transition to this turning point, place that in. Well, it's your upper lip. I wonder what that means. And then plug it on top of it, bring it up, look at my different scaling options. That's pretty solid to me. Got arc 5. Okay, it's a bit sticky now. Interaction at that scaling. If I give it a little bit of leeway, which might be the case because of the uptrend that's happening, and I don't want to end this transition short, would be the reason why I gave it leeway. It would look like that. Or if I brought it down a bit, then you got some bleed out arc 5, which isn't typical for these environments. Let me just investigate putting the kill zone on it to see how that looks. That's a bit exaggerated. So I'm going to put arc 1 onto the scale line. And if you guys want to know what the scale line is, then buy my course. Shameless self-promotion happening right there. And you'll be able to figure that out for yourself. Okay, so, or from the course rather. Yep, and that's what a really good looking chart looks like in terms of the candle formation. The length and the width of it looks right. And you can, once you got your eyes tuned into that, this can apply to all the other markets as well. You have a look for a similar structure, of course, follow the steps that I've just provided or the method I just provided in this video, just to confirm that. And then that will help you tremendously in your trading because it begins to tell a good story for you and you get to see the interactions of what's going on. Like, for example, there's some resistance here at arc 3 on the Gann tool. So you just make that line thicker to show you what that looks like. And you can see there is some push and pull over there. The reason why there was this bounce out of that resistance band was because within the lower time frame, turning point 5 had to happen at the middle of the cycle, and these were too early back here, so that needed to happen. So hopefully that helps you with scaling your charts, which is like the oxygen to breath. Without a good, a well-scaled chart, you might as well be drawing on your wall with crayons because it'll be as effective for you in terms of getting the forecast correctly laid out. As you'll be just reading kind of nonsensical information, if that's the case. Next topic. I messed up. So I clocked in a major win. Let's go to testimonials somewhere over here. Oh no, you can't see it. Okay, so in my testimonial section within the MTOPS server on Discord, I plugged in the proof that I closed at. I went up to over $2 million, but eventually settled for $1.2 something million. And when I closed that account, I thought it would be the leader on the board because the leader was at $9,000 for this competition that's happening with whatever this is called, leap, whatever the leap. And then I reached out to support and they said I messed up because I didn't choose the account correctly for paper trading, which means I'm at 0 at the moment. And the reason I'm sharing that embarrassing story is because you can win, you can be number one, you can do all the right things, but because this industry is so nuanced, and I've been ranting about this many times in terms of how exchanges put you default onto cross margin and onto 100x leverage, and you can blow up your account with one move. Like, because the industry itself is not ethical, it doesn't have your back. Unfortunately, you've got to really watch every move that you make, every single move that you make, because you can make massive blunders even if you're doing the right thing and you've got the experience and everything is on par. I didn't select, the reason why I'm not on the leaderboard anyway is because I didn't select the competition. I went into paper trading, I went to trade, I opened up the trade, successful trade, but didn't reflect anywhere because there's like multiple accounts under paper trading, which I didn't know at the time. And there's the competition one that I had to trade within. And that obviously sucks. Unfortunately, I can't share my MetaTrader screen at the moment, so I can't show you the account that I've got open there and the trader I've opened there as well. But tomorrow I'll make that happen. So that's just a little blurb about trading. Mm, I've got quite a lot of exciting news to come with regards to the prop firm trading environment. So I don't think I'm going to congest that into this video. Yeah, I'll unravel that during the week. I think what I do want to say for now is that I'll be sharing my entire screen so I can add other windows in here and be trading with live real money, not just this the competition money, because competition, anyone can be a hero when opening up trades on it. But when it comes to real consequence money and operating with the mindset of a winner and a champion, then it's best to have the full context of how hard it is on the field rather than just kind of playing like it's the difference, I guess, for any gamers who've ever done the difference between campaign and multiplayer. It is a difference between you going on to maybe like medium intensity and then going through the game's campaign and beating all the level boxes and clocking the game, and then you going out thinking you can apply the exact same strategy into a multiplayer where you're actually dealing with other people and with their tactics and their strategies, and you realize like you get sprayed by bullets, or you get mowed down in multiplayer because you can't keep that superhero approach when on multiplayer you've got to first defend, you've got to operate from a tactical advantage and all these other elements when on the field in multiplayer. So with live money, there's a different mindset that comes attached to that, and I'll be sharing mine, the do's, the don'ts, what didn't work for me, the stupid things that can cost you big, and so on and so forth. So just be very smart about every move you make in this with the real life trading, because it can have severe consequence. Just sucks, just the way it is, and more so the reason to trade alert and focus and from a place of calm and clarity is because of how easy it is to make big mess ups without with operating from a tired brain. And so try to be as focused as you can and go for your runs in the morning, go to gym, have your healthy stuff. I've got a swamp looking green drink that I have with all my vitamins, and running around with the puppies in the morning and the kids and all that circulation generating stuff, because that's what's required when you're here. And just to remind you, like the reason why all of that is so, the motivation towards being a healthy person and clear-minded person is because like I opened up a winning trade on a wrong account where I could have just scratched it a little bit further, or maybe read that article on how to do it properly, or maybe I did see it but didn't pick up on it and would have simply just traded the right account to be in there, and I'll be at the head of the leaderboard. So learn from our pain, basically. Now let's get into some charts. What I want to really drive home, guys, and this is a point that I consolidate myself through, is to please operate from stable. When you take footings forward, don't do so on a wobbly environment. If you're unsure of what is going on, and that's okay, because there are, like, I call this the graveyard, right? This little section of consolidation where a wick can stop you out, and then like it's just the consolidation period for me, which is a part of the markets, and it's going to happen. It has to happen because it needs to be a correct market structure and manja, all of that stuff. If you're unsure, don't open up a trade on it. Just, there's so many thousands of opportunities to come from this experience or to go forward from. Now, just getting a call. Let me try to silence that real quick. So I was about that. There's so many opportunities, thousands of opportunities in the future. Like there has to be, right? Because we're working with electromagnetic fields and the planets aren't just going to switch off, right? So as long as there's markets, which there'll always be markets, because the head of the world, the top 0.1%, have got vested interests in markets and capital and stocks, and it's a part of their portfolio. So just rest assured that they're always going to be around as long as capitalism is alive. And I say that because AI is like wrecking a whole bunch of many industries. So like a lot of industries are under threat at the moment. The markets are always going to be there, always going to be there, and planets are always going to be interacting with each other and providing that energetic field that we pick up on. So this is what you're working with here is an investment in yourself and as a future proof. So with that said, there's going to be thousands of opportunities to come. Don't waste your capital. Don't mess up your win streak and your P&L and your history just for just sake of opening up a trade. Okay, that comes from experience and pain and messing up and being there and hurting, and being impatient and undisciplined and manja, all those things. Right. So yeah. So operate from stable, guys. This could be a few things over here. We're looking at the Bitcoin 128 trade chart. Turning point 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5 is in. This could be a short 6. Because we are in an uptrend on the higher trade charts. Over there, you can see that, which would look something like this. Okay, a bit of kill zone formation. Or alternatively, price could be coming out of kill zone, getting some comforture on the resistance line, the resistance arc, not a line, and then going back up to get rejected by the kill zone. It could go either way, right? Kill zone confirmation tells us a story of what is going on in the markets. You don't want to race it and just open up a trade for it to go into the red and you feel regretful and disheartened, and that loss doesn't go away in terms of your history log, and it haunts you forever, sort of thing. So don't rush the trade. There's no point in doing that. What you want to do instead is wait for stable, wait for obvious, wait for predictable, because when you operate from predictable, there's just so much positive that can come from that instead. And just for some extra tips and tricks, what I recommend, guys, is getting familiar with where your profit centers are. Okay, a lot of guys will see a big run like this and then get over eager to open up the next trade. The bulk of your trade, let me actually invert that. The bulk of your trade isn't in the initial segment of the GAN, right? It's not up here. This is all of the foundation being laid for the next transition. This is the messy part. I call it death row. I know it's intense, but it kills positions, and losses are horrible, and often losses are recorded in red. So death row is what I call that. You don't need to get caught up with that. Just let it play itself out. And then once you've got a clear transition forming, even if you don't get an immediately, even if you don't get the ideal entry, then you'll at least get the bulk of where you should be trading, which is this is the sweet spot, right? Between arc 1 to, I'd say, arc 4 more often than not. Luckily, if you go to arc 5, that's just bonus money. But these 3 arcs are the meat of your transition. So that means you don't need to work on the perfect entry and you don't need to work on the perfect exit. There's more than enough profit that exists within this transition between arc 1 and arc 4. And because of leveraged environments, and again, here's just one option for you. There are, hopefully my personal account doesn't open up. Let's see. What's taking so long? Come on, hurry up. When you pay for high-speed internet and you have to deal with this shit. Anyway, forget it. Just search on prop firms. I think you guys have heard me talk about FTMO is the one I use. You can't really use it in America, so look for your best option. The profit that exists within that segment is more than enough to live off. Okay, so that's the sweet spot. Until next time, which will be tomorrow, have a great one. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask them. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now. Go on. 2, 1.